I tried to slide in. A little cringy there. Don't worry about that. You're probably looking in the back behind me, thinking that the robbers went really ham. No, it's just I sold a bunch of stuff, and before I came over here for a fresh start, and this is what's left. I know you might be thinking like, why I'm wearing a tie and stuff. I'm going to work. I'm going to work in a sec. So this past month, I've had many ideas running through my head, trying to figure out what I wanted to create for this year. Nothing gets done. As you can see, nothing gets done. Okay, I'm gonna stop thinking about what I'm going to do and just create. Okay, I'm honest with myself now. I don't have time like I used to. Okay, I've come to terms with that. I don't have time to dive into a 50-hour epic and write a thesis about it. I have had many ideas come and go for the channel, but what has always stayed is the passion to create and to get better. And you're not really getting better if you're not creating anything, especially consistently. So that's what I'm gonna do. Create more. Do you hear that? Jesus. So that's my upstairs neighbor. I call them Happy Feet.
Dance for him, Daddy. Dance with your boy.
Trying to play Resident Evil 7 with your character in a house while you're hearing perfectly timed creak noises from above you in real life. Let me tell you, I constantly thought about that Black Mirror episode. It's like that feeling when you feel someone like right behind you, like breathing down your neck, and you turn around and no one's there. That sudden rush of blood, it makes you just want to build a pillow fort. I guess I should do a mini spoiler-free review of Resident Evil 7. But first, as promised on the podcast, I am going to lick a Nintendo Switch game cartridge. If you don't know, Nintendo coated their game cartridges with piss.
Why do Nintendo Switch cartridges taste so bad? It's a weird question, but the answer has to do with chemistry. So, Nintendo Switch cartridges are covered in a chemical called denatonium benzoate, which happens to be the most bitter chemical known to man. Your 8 bitter taste receptors react to this stuff when it detects just one part of it in 10 million parts of other stuff. You put it in antifreeze and alcohol so that you don't drink it, and Nintendo puts it on their cartridges so that kids don't eat it. And can confirm, I don't like it.
By the way, I know people would like to see, look how quick that is. See that? Home, look at that, easy. Go to add your friend. Boom. Easy. Friends list. Who's online? Easy. Finally. Of course, I'm the one who has the perfect Switch that doesn't, bend or doesn't have any issues. I got lucky, okay? No disconnects or anything. Anyways, let's lick Zelda. You see, I really do like Zelda, but I don't know if I want to go to third base. Guess I should go from the back. I taste it. I thought it was gonna be worse than that. I don't think that would stop a kid from eating this. Are you kidding me? People eat rocks that taste dirtier than this. Did I just not get like the full-on coat? Let me do a second lick. Lick the sides. Oh, it's stronger in the front. It's stronger in the front. It's always stronger in the front. Really? I was expecting it to be like a hot pepper, but it's not life-threatening. Oh, it's burning. Slow erotic dance. His erection is against my belly. So I guess we'll go on straight to the review without me going, If you haven't watched anything, any Let's Players or your favorite guys or anything like that, and you don't know much about it, I say jump straight in. That's the best way to do it. I'm gonna do like tiny spoilers, like the existence of gameplay. Like I'm gonna keep it vague and tell you like kind of my thoughts. And hint for the people who have played it, some good moments. Like just there's moments where you think about Resident Evil and you think about, oh yeah, that moment that happened, yeah, that was cool. Yeah, like kind of when you're talking, you know, when you just got into a group and two people are talking and they're talking about this time that, you know, something happened that you don't know, and then you just feel left out. So sorry, you're gonna feel a little left out. And it's not just that I don't want to spoil it, it's like the game doesn't want to spoil itself. Like when you first start the game, it's just a black screen. No intro, no nothing, you just say start options, and you're good to go. And the demo that most people have played is just a tiny piece of the game. It's not a jump scare haunted house where you have to run and hide all the time. It actually kind of goes back to the old Resident Evils, you know, before 5 and 6, where everything became action-packed and co-op. Except, you know, you don't feel like you're driving a tank. Now, it's not all serious. You still have that video game cheese. The good cheese, the one that you have with wine. The one where you go to a dinner party and everyone there is talking about their food palette like it's the Force. There's a couple moments where you're like, this shouldn't be happening like this wouldn't be possible in real life, but it's awesome. You know, there's this point where you're fighting Daddy, and I know it sounds weird, and it's in a tight space, and I was so amazed of what was happening on screen that I sat there and died, pretty much. I was just running around, just,
I'm an old man, son. You can't take on an old man.
Now, you still get some dollar store cheese in there sometimes, because your character does talk. And it doesn't get too heavy until the end, where he just lays it on thick, like that spray processed cheese. To be honest, it wasn't bad. I almost forgot that he could talk. So when he did say something, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm playing a living thing. Like, this game is totally aware that it's a video game. Okay, it's totally aware, like, who is holding the camera and how can you see both of their hands while they're holding the camera. Like, it can't be a GoPro because the way how you view these tapes is the freaking VCR tape, a VHS. So what the hell? Like, who's holding the light as well? But I don't care. It's solid, okay? It's solid, and it's the reason why I'm vibing on this one. Have you ever heard me talk about scary games before? I'm just not into the games where you're just running down dark hallways and reading letters for the story and waiting for the dev's version of the boogeyman to spawn right in front of you and scare you. It's just not my thing. RE7 has some gameplay, and on normal, it's no walk in the park. Like, your aim must be true. You have to bring the right weapons to the right situations, and you have to conserve every resource you can. Okay, I'm the type of dude that goes around and hoards everything. Okay, all the secret stashes, all the upgrades, and blow my load when the time is right. As I'm sitting here thinking about it, I don't think there's anything bad about Resident Evil. It's by no means a perfect game. I mean, of course, there is no perfect games. Zelda's not perfect. Anyway, that's another conversation for another time. Like, the puzzles were just too easy. There's certain story elements where it should have been baked a little bit more in the oven. Okay, and I don't understand the decision with it. There's a lot of little things, but nothing to be like, oh, I didn't enjoy this game. But seriously, there was this really cool scene that could have been better, and it feels like a slap in the face from the developer for not. Of course, with the vagueness, there are a couple slow-ish moments at certain points of the game that weren't as good as other ones. I just felt like some of the other ones were just so good, and then some other sections were kind of pale in comparison. And I wonder if it had to do with them pushing PSVR into the whole game and them limiting the gameplay with that, or it just needed more time in the oven. I don't know, but I still had a really good time playing this game. Vagueness on purpose. The ship section had me going to bed early. It's been a while since I've been excited for a console, and it delivered. Of course, Zelda has a lot to do with that, of just being a fun game, because there's not much else on the App Store. You know, there's just like 4 games right now, but really I want those new indie games that are coming out, like Stardew Valley. You know what I'm saying? I want to get some of that. And of course, you know, everything else, my opinion would be tainted if, you know, I actually had the problems that everyone else had. I literally had no problems. I guess I wasn't chosen this time. I usually get the problems. I usually just so unlucky. But this time, I was pretty lucky. Especially getting this Switch, I was pretty lucky. It was worth waiting 4 hours in the cold. You may have heard from the TOVG podcast that I didn't have a pre-order because I missed it. And I was going out looking for a Switch that night, that Thursday night, okay? So I know it's a long shot, but I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So I'm going to find me a Switch. And my ride is here. Just finish up the podcast. Let's see how this goes. You know what I'm saying? First, I tried calling a ton of places that might have a midnight launch for the Switch. Then I physically went to a bunch of places after the podcast, and none of them, absolutely none of them had it. Then one GameStop employee told me of a prophecy, of a special store, you know, getting an abundance of juicy Switches. And I jumped on my horse and rode to the nearest Best Buy that apparently didn't have many people waiting in line. About 22 people waiting in line. Yeah, I counted. I mean, this was a good location. You would expect like 40 people already, but there was only 22. And I mean, a good location. See, you guys thought I was joking when I said I wanted to move to North Georgia, where they had people walking dogs with sweaters on them. Proof. I thought it was joke. Anyways, I started talking with this mother in front of me because she was waiting in line for her son because her son's pre-order got canceled. And even in line, she was calling up every store in the area trying to figure out if any of them have Switches or how long the lines are. And the reason why she was doing that is because the Best Buy employees didn't want to say how many Switches they had. I don't know. It was getting late and they hadn't handed out tickets yet. Nothing. You got people coming in line, saving spots. I saw a grandpa walk in at 11 p.m. No offense to all my older gentlemen out there that actually play video games. This guy looked like he was dragged out of the house instead of, you know, sitting home watching reruns of Good Times and Stanford and Son. So I decided to try my luck and talked to a Best Buy employee to see how many they had to go around. And I wish I recorded it because I was supposed to, I just didn't click it right, but my fault, because it was a good fun back and forth between me and him to finally get him to tell me something. Because supposedly he wasn't supposed to tell me how many, but after a little bit of buttering up, he vaguely told me to stay in line. So I told him how many people were in front of me and if I should stay. And he was like, "You'll be straight." I'm like, "All right, appreciate it." Go outside, tell the mother, and I told him what he said. I said, he says, "We'll be straight." And she did not know what I was saying. True story, I kid you not. She did not understand the black talk, all right? I'm in North Georgia, you know what I'm saying? Gotta tone it down a little bit. So I told the mother in English that the Best Buy vaguely told me that he will have enough switches. And I said, let's hope that people don't skip, okay? And the reason why I said that very loud was because there was a little black kid who came up and met with his friend over there in front of me and obviously skipped the line to get a switch because later on I saw him get a ticket. So I know he wasn't only there just to support his homeboy, but to get a switch himself. So he turned around and we locked eyes. And I was like, yeah, boy, I'm talking about you. I am talking about you. It's okay. Around 11:30, the Best Buy employees came out with a bunch of sheets, which are basically huge tickets, and they mark which ones they have left and stuff, and they were handing them out. You know, which one do you want, gray or neon? And as you know, I want the neon.
You guys here with a pre-order? No pre-order? No pre-order? Are you looking for the neon console or the gray?
Great.
Gray? Okay. Thank you, sir. No problem.
So he comes up, and people are just handing out neons. People are just, yeah, neon, gray, neon, gray, neon, gray. He comes up to me. I would like a neon colored switch, please. You got the last one. Yes. 4 hours. Okay, I went out thinking there's a possibility I won't get a switch. But dreams do come true.
How you doing?
No pre-order, neon.
Neon?
Yes.
Okay.
Last one.